Hello, I'm Jody Wolf, and you're watching Expoz July 22, 2017 at 2:01 a.m. Birmingham. Topic, guys, we're coming into some really bad times. I mean, really bad. You have Chicago falling apart. They're about to default. They're about to, quit paying people pensions. Of course, they've already stopped giving free money out to the freeloaders, and same with Detroit and other places. In California, Jerry Brown, he everything he could do, snubbing Trump in every way he did. Guess what? He's calling Trump and said we need some help down here. We're out of money. Instead of Trump acting like Obama, well, take what you want. He says, well, let's talk concessions, Jerry. So Trump holds the bargaining chips in his hand, and many other states are about to collapse. This is because the liberal is doing what they're doing. Had they not stood in his way, then we'd be well on the way to, well, to riches for all of us. But with what's coming up with solar eclipse and then Revelations 12, which is just a month after that, guys, look, the Prime Minister, ex-Prime Minister of Defense in Canada, he is on the verge, and he has cried. He said, look, Americans, you don't get it. You don't get what's out there. You don't get what your government is hiding from you. Steve QUAYLE is screaming the same thing. He said, y'all just have no idea what's being hid. Alex Jones, the same thing. He said, you don't know. Nobody's paying any attention. L.A. Marzulli, he's pointing out the fact that everybody that's willing to talk about it has had some kind of UFO encounter or at least seen one, except me, of course. But I'm just telling you, things are falling apart and things are intensifying on another level that's a much scarier level than this is one that's been in the darkness, in the background, that we've not been able to see in the open, while the others are wide open in plain sight. Usually that's where things hide, but evil hides in the dark. It can't stand the light. You know that. It's biblical. But these things are getting brave. They have mastered replication. They're being able to look like you and I and being able to maintain it longer periods of time. Look at this Pizzagate. If you think this is a crock, you could think again. I'm going to tell you who to go to, who to look at a site, and just you'll be a believer that Pizzagate was exactly what they said it was. David, I'm going to spell the last name. It's ZUBLICK. David, Z-U-B-L-I-C-K. YouTube that man and see what he's got there. It'll shock you. I watched one, guys, and it hurt so bad I could not finish it. Just one. And I couldn't handle it. I can handle a lot of stuff, but this was difficult. And he's got dozens and dozens and dozens on there. And all the people on his site are people or testimonies talking about their own children. A lot of them are even talking about they sacrificed their own children, some of their first two children. And they're not torn up about it. I saw one woman out of 8 actually turn her head and just couldn't control herself. Said she wakes up every night screaming for her child. They took her child. And what they did to that child, well, you go to David ZUBLICK and find out. Pizzagate's the same thing. Go see what it takes to become a 33rd Mason. Just see what it takes. Go on there and look. You can find it on David ZUBLICK's site. Listen more to Steve QUAYLE, Tom Horn, Gary STEARMAN, L.A. MARZULLI. Listen to these guys, and then listen to these guys that's talking about the rapture is at hand, because it is. It is. Because these things that the Holy Spirit has been restraining, He's about to stop restraining them. God has to give the devil the time that God gave Christ. 3.5 years. But there has to be a time where 3.5 years where we are let go from God, and we have to do it on our own, like they did in the day of Jesus. For that time, 3.5 years, they were on their own. It's their choice. And that'll be the same way in this 3.5 years. But you will have things that will drive you to Jesus. But then the second 3.5 years, they're going to drive you away from Him. That's when you need to cling to Him. Things are going to get bad. I can't say that. I can't stress that strong enough. I know it's just time. It's just time. You know, the things, the stars that's going to fall from heaven, those are the fallen angels that are going to be cast down. And they're going to be cast down, pissed off. And those that are going to release from under the earth, they're going to come up pissed off. Why do you think a third of the population will die in the first 3.5 years and a quarter will die the second 3.5 years? Hell on earth. Jody Wolf Expoz.